Hello. In this video, I'll be walking you through the steps to come into plank pose. It can be a very challenging pose as it uses your entire body, your back, your abdominal muscles, your arms, legs, everything. So before we begin, let's just circle the wrists and go both directions. And then place one hand in front and gently pull the fingers back. And then lower the fingers and pull them. Do both hands. And make your way onto all fours. So you want to make sure your wrists are directly below your shoulders, like this, as opposed to if they're out here, just bring them in a bit. Sometimes there's a tendency to have your hands wide. And then just starting in the tabletop, your wrists will probably be below your shoulders, knees below your hips. So walk your hands forward, one hand length, about 5 or 6 inches. And now check in with your wrists. You want your wrists parallel to the front of the mat. And spread your fingers as wide as you can. And then just keep your toes tucked. And from here, lean forward, bringing your shoulders on top of your wrists. Now if your shoulders pass your wrists, just walk your knees back a bit to get in alignment. And now check in with your upper back. It may want to round a bit. And now just lower it so it's a nice straight back. And make sure your back is not arched either. You don't want your belly hanging out, and you don't want a rounded back either. You want nice, straight, neutral back. And just pause here. Press into the mat with your fingertips, your knuckles. Try to keep your wrists as light as you can. And breathe. This is version 1 of plank pose. And now just come back and stretch your back out. And now come forward again. Keep your hands and knees right where they were before. Come forward, nice straight spine. You can either stay here, this is plank pose, or if you wish, lift your knees up off the mat. Aim for a nice straight spine between your shoulders, hips, and heels. And breathe. Now you're noticing the engagement of your abdominal muscles, your upper back, your legs, your arms. Make sure your elbows are not locked. You want to be using all the muscles in your arms. And then lower your knees to the mat. And come on down. Come to a seated position. Circle your wrists. Go both directions. Maybe stretch your wrists again. And where I showed you where your hands and knees are, hands and feet are for plank pose, that's the identical position for downward facing dog. So if you're in a class, when they say go into plank and then into downward facing dog or vice versa, don't adjust your feet. They're all ready for the next pose. Hope this was helpful. Namaste.